Do not move to Salem, Oregon until you listen to today's video until the very end, because I'm gonna share 5 things that you might not like about living here. But first, if you're new here, welcome. My name's Mariah. My husband Spencer and I run a top producing husband and wife real estate team here in Oregon, and we work with relocation clients, people relocating to our area that are watching our YouTube videos like you guys all the time. If that's you, don't hesitate to reach out, whether you already live in the area and are wanting to buy or sell, or if you're moving from out of state. We would love to work with you. I will put my contact information in the description below. The first step is going to be shoot me an email and we can set up a Zoom call or a phone call and talk about the next steps. The first thing that you might not like about Salem, Oregon is that the weather can be quite wet and gray. Now, generally between the months of November and March, there's quite a bit of rain. And while it's not always like a straight up downpour, heavy rain, it's not always like that by any means. I certainly am able to get outside and walk a lot of days, probably more often than not, even if it's raining, like little breaks in the rain, you know, all throughout the year. However, it's gonna be like overcast quite a bit. Like today, for example, it's not raining today. It probably won't rain at all. However, it is very overcast and gloomy outside today. The second thing to know is that Salem is in the heart of the Willamette Valley, which is known for its agriculture. So here in Salem and the many beautiful surrounding towns, you are gonna be surrounded by agriculture, farm town, wineries, fields. There's a lot of that around here. The city has a strong agricultural industry, particularly focusing on grass seed, hazelnuts, and wine grapes. Because of that, we have some really great farmers markets. There's farm stands, you know, you see farm stands every now and then at different sides of town, but you're also gonna see farmers markets, which we have really great farmers markets here in the Willamette Valley. The third thing that you might not like that's important to know is that Salem definitely has state capital vibes, okay? Like, it is not a huge city. It definitely just has that like state capital vibes. I don't really know how else you could say. One of the pros is we have a really beautiful Capitol building with beautiful gardens, a really beautiful park all around it. My family and I are in that area, you know, downtown, and all the beautiful parks quite often. It's a really beautiful place to go. However, because of that, you're not gonna see super tall skyscrapers. We actually don't have any buildings taller than the Capitol building. Like here in Salem directly, the state Capitol building is the tallest building, and we're not allowed to have any buildings built that are taller than that. So that could be a con to you. Definitely more of a like laid back, less to do type town. I think we are known for our coffee. I know when I travel, especially to like the south and that end of the country, I'm like, wow, we really have great coffee here in Oregon in particular, but even in Salem, we are known for having really great like small coffee shops, locally owned. We have some really great locally owned restaurants downtown Salem and not downtown. And there are some small bars downtown, but there's definitely not this huge bar scene, huge city life, that type of thing. It's much more of a relaxed town, I guess you could say. The fourth thing you might not like about Salem is we have limited public transportation. We do have a bus system. However, it's not as extensive as Portland. It doesn't stretch as far as Portland, and it's just not as great of a bus system if we're being real. We have some really great bike lanes. However, Salem is quite spread out, and it's definitely not walkable. I personally love walking places, and the closest grocery store is probably about like a 2 or 3 mile walk from here. I walk there sometimes just because I think it's fun and I love getting to walk places. However, that's what it's gonna be like. This is like one of the more walkable neighborhoods, and it's not a walkable neighborhood by any means. While it is a very quick, 5-minute or less drive to coffee shops, restaurants, shopping, which I love, my neighborhood where I live in, which I love and I'm thankful for, it's not very walkable, and there's lots of hills. And that's what you're gonna find in Salem. There's really only like 1 or 2 neighborhoods that I would say are truly walkable in Salem. That would be the Bush Park neighborhood, downtown Salem. You're gonna see historic houses, and it will be walkable to more, restaurants, shopping, parks, that kind of thing. But even then, it's not what you might be expecting when you hear the words walkable. The whole point in saying all of that is you're gonna need a car to live in Salem. The last thing that you might not like about Salem is that it doesn't have the same cultural draw as Portland. However, Salem does have its own small local art scene with local theaters, galleries, and music festivals. With the Oregon State Fairgrounds hosting events, fairs, and exhibits throughout the year. There is also a growing focus on public art and creative spaces throughout these cities. I guess you could say a con is that it doesn't have the same cultural draw, the same art focus as Portland, but it does have its own little art scene for being a smaller city. That is it for today's video. If you haven't already, subscribe and hit the bell because I come on here every week with new videos talking about everything you need to know about living in, moving to, or just real estate in general in Oregon. And if you grab value from today's video, hit the thumbs up button. If you didn't, hit the thumbs down button, and I'll see you guys soon.